The opening statement.
Yeah, just got a chance to go through the film a couple of times, meeting with the staff today. We're looking at just the first 4 games, and then, in particular, the last game, spending time there, looking at the execution, really in all phases, we're out-executed by the Patriots. Got to give them a lot of credit for executing a great game plan. While we didn't turn the ball over offensively, we gave up a pretty good amount of explosives. Certainly the punt return for a touchdown, the second big punt, where they won the field position battle there, and then gave up some explosive plays defensively. And then offensively, we fizzled out. We got into the fringe, into the high red zone area, and 6 or 7 plays, miscues, sacks, missed protections and blocks, penalties, and those things really kept us from playing this game more balanced, where we can go possession by possession there. So we're looking at all that, and we're taking a good snapshot of these first 4 games to see where we're at schematically and from a personnel standpoint, so we can go forward and get back to work.
We're going to start with Mike Kay, followed by Jeff Hawkins.
Hey, Dave. Good morning. Oh, I guess it's the afternoon already.
Hey,
do you guys plan to make any adjustments roster-wise or operationally coming out of these meetings?
We're looking at all that. We're trying to figure out, to make decisions on who can help the team right now. So that's kind of the spirit of the day, is to dive into those things and see if there's a way that we can, help our team.
When you look at the wide receiver group, obviously T-Mac's off to a really nice start, but beyond him, you have 2 plays of over 20 yards or more at that wide receiver position. Your wide receiver group's averaging roughly 7 yards per catch. How can you open up the offense for the rest of the group, or is that even possible given the offensive line struggles?
It's something that we're looking at to try to create some more explosives and try to get that yards per up there right now. Just looking at the combination of guys that we use, the style of passes that we use, we're evaluating all that right now.
Hey, good afternoon, Coach. This is Jeff Hawkins.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, on Hunter Henry's touchdown pass on the sideline, Smith Wade attempted a punch out instead of attempting a tackle or simply pushing out of bounds. J.C. Horn appeared to turn and yell something after. What kind of teaching moment is that for a young player?
Yeah, we teach first guy in's got to make the tackle. Second guy, look to punch that ball out. Make sure we secure the tackler first before we go making attempts at the ball right there. So I'd love to see him, put his shoulder on him, a right shoulder tackle right there, knock him out of bounds, and we'll keep playing football.
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go with Daryl, followed by David Newton. All right, we're going to go with David Newton, followed by Joe Person.
And hi, Coach. In the first quarter yesterday, you guys were up 6-0. You had the ball. You were across midfield in Patriots territory on a third down play, and you called a running play, and that didn't work out. And obviously the next play happened to be the punt return, which kind of seemed to change the whole game around with the touchdown. What were your thoughts when you were calling the running play on that third down there, and what were you looking for?
Yeah, I thought we had an advantage in some of the fronts that we were getting. And, thought we'd had a clean look right there to try to steal some yards, potentially get us into a 4-down situation where we can keep the drive going and try to get a touchdown out of it. So we were kind of in that zone right there. The run did not work out. They stopped us right there, so we were forced to punt. Was
the initial thought trying to keep the play going, like maybe getting fourth down, or was it trying to get a little closer for a field goal, though?
Both. You could accomplish either thing in that situation, and we thought we had an advantage. It didn't work out.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dave. You mentioned y'all looking at things schematically. Are you sold on the 3-4? I mean, it's been a couple years, almost a couple years with you, and it's been 3 years here, and it's really not stopped a whole lot of people in the last few years. Is there anything your personnel didn't fit that, or you need to make some changes there, do you feel like? Because the defense looked like it was kind of off.
Like our system, I think it comes down to execution. I believe that we just need to figure out how to put our best 11 guys on the field and ask them to execute.
And also the lack of depth, is that being revealed a little bit because you're having to move guys from special teams to play on defense and offense, so that weakens that part of the ball? How is that impacting the whole team right now?
We're asking all the guys that we called up to be ready to perform and execute. We're asking them to take to the coaching, to get out there, and we're trusting them for these opportunities to show us how they can help the team. And guys are getting those opportunities, and we're being able to evaluate the guys based on how they can help us or not.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Person, followed by Vashti.
Dave, you have Chuba's a guy that seems to get better. It's historically his best games have been when he's had 18 or more carries. You seem rather committed to sharing these carries and the backfield reps. Why is that?
Yeah, I just believe that with the players that we have in the backfield, if we can sustain drives, if we can play these games that way, then we have a full speed runner, a violent runner every time. I was proud of the way that the group ran the ball yesterday in terms of the effort and the way that we finished the game. Obviously not in the right, situation that we want to be in, but to be able to continue to run violently with great energy when we have guys that can affect the game that way, that's what we want to do.
So Chuba's calf injury did not play into the reps yesterday.
No, it did not. It was a factor in our minds, but in my mind, I wanted Chuba to just continue to go out there and play and give us everything he had.
And then, Dave, where are things with Coker and Leggett this week?
Yeah, they're progressing. We'll gather more information. Xavier had a good day today, but again, we're going to have to take that, Xavier really day to day and still week to week with Coker to see where we're at as we challenge him with more of a load that simulates what a game might be, because the first step is to get the player healthy. The second step is to make sure that he's got the endurance and the resilience to be able to handle significant reps.
Hi, Dave. I know that Mike asked you about personnel changes when it comes to players, but have you thought about making any changes with any of the coaches? And then what's your philosophy around mid-season coaching changes or coaching shakeups?
We're still gathering information right now about who we are, who we can play with, and what schemes are working for us. And as we continue to build off of those, right now, just sticking to the core concepts of what we're doing. So I don't anticipate any changes.
would you say this team has an identity? And if so, what is that?
I can say that this team has an identity to play hard with great effort and physicality. That continues to show up. We need to become a team that executes consistently, that carries off what I thought were 2 really good weeks of practice. One led to a great game. One led to a really poor performance, and so as the head coach, I'm the common denominator. I have to make sure we're in a great headspace so that the guys can be focused and execute consistently.
We have time for a couple more. We're going to go with Julian Council, followed by Dennis Cox.
Yeah, hey Dave, how are you doing?
Hey, Julian.
Hey, just looking at your return game yesterday, I know David Moore went out there on that first play. How did that impact you guys with the rest of the game? I saw with obviously Trevor getting a return there on the punt return, also Hunter Henry, and how might that impact you moving forward with him being week to week with that elbow?
Yeah, we've been giving David Moore, Hunter Renfrow as the backup for Demo in some of those logo punt situations, kind of middle of the field with the potential backed up scenario. And so this is an area where, Trevor caught that ball inside the 10-yard line. We'd love for him to locate where he's at, and let that ball bounce, see if it goes in for a touchback. If they pin us, we'll play it from there. So an area of growth for Trevor for sure.
Nice.
Coach, in each of the first 4 games this season, whether it's been at the end of the first half or end of the game, you guys have had opportunities to get points in a 2-minute drill, but haven't come away with any points in those situations. What have you seen from the 2-minute offense that has not gotten you into the position where you guys can score?
Yeah, I think just time on task, trust, execution, guys being where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there. Bryce will come up here and be the first one to tell you he'd love to have a couple of those throws back, some near misses. We got to be able to hit those when we have those opportunities. But these are plays that we know. These are plays that I expect we'll execute in the future.
Thanks.
Yep.
We're going to finish with Mike Kay and then followed by Joe Person.
Dave, after each loss, you've brought up the failure of execution. You don't plan to make any coaching changes. What is the steps for accountability when you see a guy struggling or maybe out of position or missing a run fit consistently or doing something like dropping passes or making mistakes? How do you hold a player accountable in general when you see that happening?
We address it. We tell the truth about it. We talk about it as a team. It's addressed in their position groups. And then eventually, if someone's not performing, then we have to make the decision on who we play and who gets to go out there. And ultimately, that's what matters. It's about playing time, And so as we continue to gather information, we have to make those tough decisions at times.
Dave, given what you said that Coker's still week to week and obviously these 2 other injuries at wideout, is Dan going to bring in some guys to work out? And then B, does this expedite Jimmy Horn's development or his playing time?
Yeah, we'll get to see Jimmy Horn. He's got a great opportunity. We're excited about it. Want to make sure that he's able to go out there and give us significant reps, and we'll carve out a role because there's certainly things that he can bring to our offense with his speed and ability to carry the ball and make yards. So I'm excited for Jimmy to get this opportunity this week.
And will Brady Christensen be starting going forward at guard, or is that dependent on Chandler's status?
That's the plan right now, but again, we have to work through the whole report to see where we're at, and Brady gives us options at both places.
Thanks.
All right, Coach, thank you so much for your time today.
All right, thank you.